What is going on YouTube? This is Acidic Roots on Frenchy Town's YouTube pitch like that. So this is some healthy popcorn here. Some of these pitches. So paying attention like the recent Lebanon type phrase and pitch like that, kind of amongst the phrase as far as saying that in these aspects there has been a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah as far as these pitches down, but then these pitches there's been a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah pitch like that. So I was going to talk about some of those type phrases and some of these pitches here within the aspect where the phrase down. So within the aspect there's been some missile strikes pitch like that, particularly uh did some earlier type phrases been the pitch as far as saying that there is kind of a triple trouble type aspects within science affairs between Israel, Hezbollah, and Lebanon within these sorts of pitches as far as like the phrase going to happen, just kind of the battle for like not the more or less kind of like the land, but also like the pitch of just talking about the goings on within like the aspect of like this government and more or less sovereignty amongst that particular area within pitch like that. It's the hit that phrase for I was saying, but paying attention towards it here. It seems like the ceasefire is more or less frail within sense of pitch, but the aspects for us saying is paying attention towards it here. It's kind of pitch for us saying paying attention towards the sense of products. I had kind of said within sense of products, it kind of felt earlier within saying that these three countries fighting for this particular country within these aspects kind of felt like a particular three folks fighting over like a box of Cheerios as far as the first game. It's kind of what them pitch for saying some of the products now. There is the aspects kind of amongst it, but it's kind of what them pitch for saying. I think within the pitch, Paul McCartney or Tom Cruise, some folks need to explain to like these particular three countries that these battles don't really make sense as far as these folks can have them. It's kind of like within the particular pitch, a bureaucracy was kind of like a television show. That's kind of what you're getting here with some of the aspects of the pitch behind us. It's kind of the aspect. It's just kind of like watching one of those graph channels that are kind of on some of the earlier type ones, some of the earlier type channels on television channels, pitch like that, like Channel 3 or Channel 5, so just kind of random type phrase and just getting like those, getting like the particular kind of squiggly line, kind of graph type fair pitch like this. The phrase for us saying, then examples for saying pitch like that is kind of planting trees to cut them down, to make paper, to throw away, to recycle for more money for trees. As far as it's supposed to it's kind of pitch for us saying it's the product to seem like the active goings on since the pitch. Now it's not. Yes, I do think there is like aspect that now keep in mind this is some 2 cent. Keep in mind within these pitches, this is some 2 cents within the aspects as far as paying attention, like the phrase in like a slapstick type manner, pitch like that, Ren and Stimpy type fair sense of pitch within the aspect like this uh doofy kind of 420 type aspects within the demeanor of it, pitch like that. But the phrase for us in science of products is the aspects for us in the bureaucracy kind of goes amongst this. It's the phrase as far as it seems like there might be like geopolitical type aim for some of the pitches as far as acquiring this particular land, but it's kind of pitch of just trying to see the broader type appeal within the aspects for us like the phrase as to why that particular kind of happens. Now it's not downplaying like the product of Lebanon or its beauty within the aspect of the tone, just like the goings on with them, but it's kind of fair for us in some of the affairs. Makes you question when someone's a pitch for us like the aspect kind of amongst was this kind of product. Definitely Paul McCartney, Tom Cruise, and some folks. Some of these particular type fellas need to just say, "What are y'all fighting about in general?" With the pitches like this. Also, on top of the phrase, as far as saying Lebanon is probably pulling their hair out just from the phrase, as far as just like the goings on having like this random particular war where two countries just decide they have the acquisition of wanting the particular aspect within the tone kind of amongst this kind of the pitch of kind of random type fairs and the pitch behind it. Now it's within the is it's happened within fairs in similar type fashions in World War II and some of those type wars pitched like that. Was the phrase for us saying they seem kind of distraught from like the wars that are going on, but just kind of makes you question this sort of phrase within those pitches. I was looking up some of those type fairs to kind of see what both or all three sides kind of wanted from like the particular phrase, like the goings on. Israel within these pitches wants a buffer zone. Hezbollah wants particular like dominion and like mentality type shifts for like some of Lebanon and Lebanese type people pitches like that. The fray. They also don't care for Israel too much, and Lebanon just wants sovereignty of their land as far as the first comes. So, pitch for stance affairs makes you question what would be the problem of buffer zones that Israel has in Lebanon if they're their neighbors in the first place. It'd make you question what that. I mean, I realize then probably they probably don't want the foreign entities there with them pitch like that, but it's kind of just like border patrol, something like that. If they're neighbors, kind of like it's kind of like border station. The fair about Israel within those pitches, they just want to make sure that there's no strikes kind of within their country, which is right beneath Lebanon as far as the physical items as the pitch for saying what the particular product of having like border stations where they could have something as affairs, put a damn PlayStation and gentleman bar there, so the pitches like that. Local performers kind of make it like an entertainment type spot so they could have like these pitches that doesn't have to be quite as drastic and as militant within those phrases. They could have those people where the station like the presence, the buffer zones are kind of there, but they'd have like products for where kind of where you can make some money amongst it, where Lebanon and Israel could have some of those fairs. You think within those pitches that would be kind of the product, get like some local performance pitches like that, some of those type fairs. They'll at least knock out two of the three of those type folks and pitch like that. Only thing you'd have to worry about beyond that sort of freight, now not to set up, not to have like $30,000 type devices when the pitch it, just getting those blown to pieces. But the freight just simplistic type pairs pitch like that. Only thing you'd have to worry about with at least two out of three of those type pitches is just Hezbollah as far as supposed to say about Hezbollah.